In 1687, Newton sat beneath an apple tree as an apple fell. He never asked, "Why does the apple fall?" Everyone already knew the answer was gravity. The question he asked was far more dangerous: why must everything fall? That single question changed the entire trajectory of human civilization. September 14, 2015. 5:51 in the morning. Deep in the wilderness of Louisiana, two laser arms each 4 kilometers long trembled simultaneously, by an amount 1,000th the diameter of a single proton. The universe was speaking to us. And for the very first time, we heard it. That trembling was a gravitational wave, born from 2 black holes colliding 1.3 billion years ago, rippling across the entire observable universe until humanity caught it for the very first time. Physicist John Wheeler once said, "Spacetime tells matter how to move, matter tells spacetime how to curve." In that moment, those words became undeniably real. Now I want to ask you a question, one that will keep you awake tonight. What if we didn't just detect gravitational waves, but could actively generate them, control them, even reverse them? Would that apple fly upward? Every single word in this video is backed by real physics equations written in black and white. The gravity formula you learned in school is humanity's greatest lie. Not because Newton was wrong, but because it was only a sketch, a rough map, while the actual terrain is far wilder, far stranger, and far more exploitable than anything that map ever showed. Place your right hand flat on a table. What do you feel? The table pushing back, right? Wrong. From the perspective of general relativity, that is not a support force. The curved spacetime of Earth is forcing your hand along a geodesic path, and the table is simply interrupting that journey. You think you are resting. You are actually in constant freefall. Gravity is not a force. Gravity is the geometric effect of curved spacetime. That was the shock Einstein delivered to all of humanity when he published general relativity in 1915. To control gravity is, at its core, to rewrite the geometry of the universe, to rewrite the fundamental rules of physics. That apple is not just falling. It is taking the shortest path through bent spacetime. The energy released by GW150914 in its final 0.2 seconds exceeded the combined light output of every star in the observable universe at that same moment, by a factor of 50. That figure is 10 to the power of 27 times humanity's total annual energy consumption. The forces of the cosmos dwarf anything we can imagine. And we have only just begun to listen. Antimatter: every fundamental particle has a corresponding antiparticle. When matter meets antimatter, 100% annihilation occurs, converting entirely into pure energy. The efficiency is thousands of times greater than nuclear fission, and billions of times greater than chemical combustion. This is the most precise explosive in the universe, and an unavoidable checkpoint on any roadmap toward gravity control. In 2023, CERN's ALPHA experiment delivered humanity's first definitive answer. Antihydrogen atoms fall downward in a gravitational field, identical in behavior to ordinary hydrogen. This ruled out the simplest route to anti-gravitational propulsion, forcing us to pursue possibilities that are far more extreme and far more extraordinary. In 1994, Mexican theoretical physicist Miguel Alcubierre read Star Trek, and then did something insane. Using Einstein's field equations, he derived a spacetime solution that would allow a spacecraft to travel faster than light. This was not science fiction. This was printed in black and white in a peer-reviewed physics journal. The Alcubierre drive does not make the ship itself move faster than light, relativity forbids that. Instead, it compresses spacetime in front of the ship and expands it behind, like standing on a folded carpet. The carpet moves. The ship stays still. Superluminal travel achieved, without violating a single line of relativity. The warp engine requires something called negative energy density, exotic matter. Quantum field theory tells us that under specific conditions, the quantum vacuum can produce negative energy density. The Casimir effect is the experimental proof. Harold White's revised calculations drastically reduced the energy requirement, but engineering reality still remains enormously distant. A quiet but ferocious war is being fought inside physics. The pro-warp camp argues that the negative energy of the quantum vacuum can be amplified through precisely designed geometric structures. The opposition counters that quantum inequalities would cause any such macroscopic device to collapse into itself, like trying to focus a shadow with a mirror. General relativity and quantum mechanics are the two greatest structures in 20th century physics. The problem is they are fundamentally incompatible. Quantum mechanics requires a particle called the graviton to carry gravity, just as photons carry electromagnetism. Yet no experiment has ever detected a graviton. Our understanding of gravity may be far shallower than we have ever admitted. String theory, loop quantum gravity, the holographic principle, each claims to unify gravity with quantum mechanics, yet none has produced a single experimentally verifiable prediction. This is the deepest black hole in the history of physics. Not a cosmic one, but a cognitive one, swallowing every answer, and emitting no light whatsoever. Some researchers have explored the weaponization of gravitational waves. Gravitational waves pass through all matter and cannot be shielded against. In theory, a gravitational wave generator could tear targets apart via tidal forces with zero warning. But the energy required to produce such destructive waves would be equivalent to accelerating a neutron star to near light speed within milliseconds, completely beyond reach for now. The boundary of unforeseeable technology has never been a stable line in human history. Nuclear fission. Gene editing. Every time, it was the same story. What seemed unimaginable yesterday became a history textbook entry today. The threat of gravity manipulation technology may be closer to reality than any of us are willing to admit. The year 2387. Deep Space Station 1. You stand at the center of a spherical chamber 200 meters across. The walls are transparent, but your attention is locked entirely on what floats at the center, a deep blue quantum gravitational lens 3 meters in diameter, its core a precisely modulated negative energy Casimir field, held in quantum coherence by superconducting magnetic containment. You wear a neural interface helmet. When you want it to bend, it bends. You close your eyes and think, up. At the far end of the chamber, an iron sphere, suspended by no bracket, attached by no rope, slowly lifts from the floor and rises into the air. You have just done something every physicist from previous centuries would have called impossible. You open your eyes and stare at the iron sphere. Something rises inside you that defies description, not pride, not excitement, but something closer to religious terror. Because you know, you are not simply moving a piece of metal. You are rewriting the local geometry of space-time. You are touching the deepest rules that govern the universe. Then a thought runs cold down your spine. What if this device were placed outside the atmosphere, aimed at the crust beneath a city, and pushed to maximum output? On the very first day gravity control becomes real, every military superpower on Earth will simultaneously begin drafting a feasibility report for a curvature-based weapons program. You remove the helmet. The iron sphere slowly descends. Every technological breakthrough follows the same pattern. First it is science, then it is a weapon, and only then, if we survive, does it become civilization. Humanity uses fire to stay warm and uses fire to burn cities. Gravity is a key that opens too many doors. We have not yet decided which ones we are ready to walk through. If gravity control becomes real, the first revolution will be energy. Gravity is the only macroscopic force in nature that always points in the same direction. A precision gravitational gradient generator could extract potential energy directly from Earth's gravitational field, theoretically delivering near-infinite clean energy output. The age of fossil fuels would end within half a century. The second phase